So I've been wanting to build a set of curved ramps. If you know what those are, they're S-curves. Ramps for a long time. So we have a bunch of material here. This is actually old trampoline frame. You can see that it's a circle. But essentially you have a ramp that you drive up this way first and this way. It makes so if you're loading something like in the bed of a pickup truck or something like a riding mower, it doesn't bottom out the belly pan. So got some heavy gauge steel here, nice tubing, and we got one half and we're just gonna bend it the other way, make an S-shaped ramp. You'll see. So I think I have about 3 trampoline parts sitting here that I've collected over the years. I usually just use a straight tube for projects and stuff like that, but this curved stuff has been have a couple ideas for it, and this is one of them. This one came off of like more of a commercial trampoline. I mean, the guy had it halfway underground and stuff like I don't know if you've ever seen a ground level trampoline with it. They dig a big trench. Pretty popular around where I live. These were just cheaper, like, you know, Walmart or Sam's Club trampolines. This one's actually pretty thin. This one's way thicker, but this one's the thickest. So we're going to use that so we can make as strong as ramps as possible. And these right here, I'm probably going to chop up, and those are going to be the runners between the ramps. You can see right here, they're actually joined right here in the middle, so we can just unbolt that. And we'll just take one. They're way too long right now. They're probably 10 feet long together. And we'll take one and then put the other one so it goes like that. And cut them down to a length that's more reasonable. All right, Ginger, here, give me the Frisbee. Let's go. Let's go, come on. If this is the ramp form, I mean, it's way too long. It's almost 11 feet. But you drive up the first part, and then it's just nice and gradually rounded into the pickup truck or whatever. But we're way too long. We need to shorten this down to... if you're making ramps, make them as long as possible. But have a nice set of 8 foot that are straight. And you virtually never bottom out on that. The longer they are, but also the longer they are, the weaker they are. And I want these to hold, I want these to be rated for about 2,000 pounds. So I thought about this for just a second. If this is the tailgate, and this is our ground, down here, okay? We want to go from there to there. This is our pickup truck. Get that distance. At first I was thinking that, okay, we have equal lengths of this S-shaped ramp. You know, you just go, boom. But this is so low to the ground, and this isn't actually that crucial. Yeah, it gives a nice like initial approach angle, but almost a third of your ramp is just wasted where it's only, you know, a couple inches off the ground, which don't really matter. So if we took that same ramp, you know, here you have the same upper curve, and it just came down and ended right there, it's going to do virtually the exact same thing. So I'm going to keep the full length of this upper arch, of my arch pieces, like the full length of it, without cutting. First I was just going to cut each one down to 7 feet, but if I keep the full length of this, it actually will probably be more like that. I don't think it's going to change the approach angle enough. It's going to keep the ramp shorter, and allow you to get up there easier. I think so. I don't know. It's my ramp. I guess I can do whatever I want. I think that down there seems very gradual. You know, you're just going to roll right up to that, pop up, and over. So, I don't know. That's 7.5 feet. Okay, now we just need to cut all the cross ties. The rungs, I guess. I don't know what you want to call them. I figured about 10 inches. Pipes 2. So overall the ramps are going to be about 14 inches wide. Seemed about right. So we're going to use my tubing notcher here. I have a whole video on it. A super basic tubing notcher. Pretty much just a piece of angle iron. But I'll show you how to make it in another video. See? I have no issues welding that up. Chugging along. Decided to start welding some of the shorter pieces together. Well, I can get 2 out of here if I weld it. There was a taper like fit right here where one went into the other, so I just welded that up. So that's the nice thing about metal, and you just weld it longer if you need to. These don't need to be that strong. I do have more tubing that's a little bit thinner than this, and these rungs don't need to be as strong as the rest of the stuff, but might as well use up this thicker gauge 1/8 inch stuff while I have it. Just a couple more to go, and then we'll probably have to do some of the thinner things. I swear, it never fails with hole saws. Have these little pins you're supposed to screw in there. They just back themselves out, and this thing just tightens itself down. So tight. Let's see. You get it? We got it. And of course I drop it. It did it all. I sharpened it one time. There was a self-tapping screw in there, so I had to just touch up the teeth. If you've never sharpened a hole saw, it's just a matter of just touching each one of those things. I just usually touch them on the goalie side. Just touch the inside, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes I'll touch the tops this way, but you know, 60 seconds and you have a sharp hole saw again. That's the scraps. Wow, took way longer than it should have. I think I made 24 of them. So these are thick ones. They're about an 1/8 inch thick, and these are thinner ones, which will suffice. So most of them are these thicker ones, and these thinner ones I'll just put down. I guess I'll put them down at the bottom of the ramp. It really doesn't matter. But now it's just a matter of, I guess, grinding some paint off and start tack welding those in. And welding, and welding, and welding. It's time for, Ginger tells me it's time for dinner, so let's go eat dinner. Come on, you ready? You've been bugging me for an hour. Let's go. Okay, I don't have 10 feet of welding table, so use my precision concrete welding table. Put these out like this. Put one of these in here and see what it does. There we go. That's the spacing. It's actually not bad. You know, it's not, you know, you don't want huge spacing where the tires fall into each groove. You know, the only thing that might suffer on this is the small tire the front tire on a riding mower, just the front tire. The back tire wouldn't. But you can always ride the rail a little bit when you're going up them, if that makes sense. So I'll just start tacking. We'll go from there. Try to make sure I'm square and one isn't pushed more forward than the other, but that's a lot of bending over and welding. But we got one done. I'll weld it up. I like to do this. I do this on quite a few ramps that I build. I just put little spot welds and just all along all the rungs. And when they're wet, it really gives you traction. This thing doesn't bend like at all. So that's good. Because I want this to hold at least, that'll hold 1,000 pounds. If me doesn't even deflect it, just with the gauge of thickness of the steel and stuff like that, the combined should hold 2,000, and we'll look at it, but I think that we might even be able to push 3,000 pounds combined, 1,500 each ramp. Ran out of welding gas, but I always keep 2 tanks because nothing is worse than having no tanks when you're out of welding gas. This is C25, and you can actually, just a heads up for people that don't know, so the last date you see on here, whatever date it is, you get 5 years past that before it needs to be hydro tested again. So this is 2020, 8 of 2020, and you get 5 years. If there's a plus sign, that means it can be overfilled by 10%. So there's 10% overfill. and the star means you get an extra 5 years. So normally this would expire in 2025, in 8 of 2025, but because I have the star, I get another 5 years, so it expires 8 of 2030. And they can overfill this 10% above the 125 cubic feet bottle that this one is. But just if you didn't know, so we'll put this on here. We'll be back to weld. I threw a piece of angle iron on the front, 3" by, well, it's 3 by 3, but I cut it down 3/16. So that'll be the landing. Now it's just time for spray paint and let it sit overnight. Now this side by side has about a 1/2 inch clearance on each side in the bed, and it is way too long. My other side by side will fit all the way up in the bed, and I've loaded that up many times. This one though, we're just testing out the ramps because it's heavier. Right here in the middle, like this machine is so long that if you just had straight ramps that came from here down to here, this middle would be touching the edge of the tailgate trailer, whatever, right now, and you'd be bottoming out. But because it allows you to round up, it picks it up and around it. This is a really long, the longer the machine, the longer the thing you're loading, the harder it is. But a riding mower or something with a deck that's hanging down, it has such a short wheelbase though, it would just ride right up that and just dump right in without ever stressing it out or ever bottoming it out. Okay. They actually worked pretty slick. I didn't see any bowing. I'm sure they deflected a little bit, but also having it like this, if you actually just even put a tie down from here and stretched it down to here, made it like a bridge, you could probably increase the capacity of this ramp by 500 pounds pretty easily. You know, I've built thinner out of 1-inch pipe, gas pipe. I built some nice heavy duty ramps, and I just triangulated it just like a bridge, you know, or a truss. If I built a truss system under there, you could get these ramps to hold 3,000 pounds a piece. You can get these to be 6,000 pounds if you trussed it up. But I mean, seriously, take like a 2-inch tie down, wrap it around this rung down there, stretch it together, and whatever tension you put on that will keep the tension on that, and you can probably get another 500 pounds, maybe even 1,000 pounds capacity out of these ramps. Okay, so one of the primary reasons that I built it is not just to load stuff in the bed of a truck, but I actually want to, this is the front of my trailer, I want to load my side-by-side in and out while the trailer's parked. When the trailer's parked, it's back up against the fence and you can't actually get anything in and out of it, but it's a valuable storage space to keep my side-by-side there. But if I want to use it and not trailer it somewhere, I kind of have to keep them separate. So I'm going to put it right here. We've got another set of ramps just sitting in here just so it can pull in, but we're going to try it out. I'll just keep bottoming out on that jack. Barely. I put little boards under there. I think it would do it if I put a little bit taller, even one more. But the problem is I don't even think, these are aluminum ramps, and these aren't rated for the weight of that machine, so I think those are buckling, so I kind of put these boards under it. I have 8-foot steel ramps that I built forever ago. I'll show you. I built those like 20 years ago, my very first ramps I ever built, and I'll put those in there and it'll do it. Especially if I put like these wooden, they're like, I made my own car jack stands essentially. Those are actually really handy. But if I put those under there, then it would give me enough lift at the back to clear that. These are 8-foot ones I built just out of angle iron in 2003 or something like that. And then I can just take this one off. Put that out of the way. And slide it up in there. There. Easy enough. If you're gonna get stuck in the snow for an hour, still not out, but make sure you bring your best friend and a great view. Yeah, you can't go down there. Not with tires. Don't leave the parking lot, I guess, right? Nope, we'll get there. Back and forth. Dig, back and forth, dig. Make yourself a launch pad.